Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm defeating as many chess.com bots as I can with only one queen, starting with the weakest bot and increasing its elo until I lose a game. Let's get started with game number one. Alright, game number one, we have the weakest chess.com bot available, the Zach bot, rated literally 1 elo, so this should be mostly about just centralizing my queen, and he's beating me literally to the punch, and just collecting free material. So that's a free rook, that is a free bishop, you get the idea, and that was a free checkmate. Okay, with that we do defeat the Zach bot in 4 moves with only 1 queen. Let's move on to bot number 2. Alright, bot number 2 is Pepe, rated 100 elo. Again, I'm just going to centralize my queen. Okay, I think I have unlocked the method. We'll see how long this works for, but that's free, and that's checkmate. Okay, I don't know if these guys are broken, but with that we do defeat Pepe as well. If that works again for the 250 elo bot, then I'm gonna have some serious concerns. Let's move on to bot number 3. Okay, before we actually move on to the 250 elo bot, which would be Martin, my absolute favorite bot on the entire website, I'm going to try this again. Oh my goodness, 150, and it's going to fall for the exact same thing. Okay, we found the new method for defeating literally every bot under 250 by just using a singular queen. All right, let's move on to Martin. All right, Martin is bot number 4, rated 250. Now, I know for a fact that he will not fall for this. There we go. Right away, a different move. Not because he wouldn't play pawn to b5 and give away a rook, or even bishop to b7 and give away a bishop, but because he would never play queen to c8. Because Martin always sees checkmate in 1, that is, he always capitalizes on checkmate in 1, and never allows checkmate in 1, at least if it is physically stoppable on the board. All right, we do get pawn to d6. I do still think, though, that this will just be about me centralizing my queen. Maybe I should make some effort to stop any Hayward advancement that I shouldn't be allowing, but besides that, I'm just going to be targeting free stuff wherever I can find it. So b7 seems totally fine to capture, so does a8, and so does a7, and just like that, a whole bunch of material starts falling. Now, we do get put into check. The thing is, I do know this is theoretically possible to win, because I've defeated Martin with only a pawn in the past. You basically just push until you promote to a queen, which is what we're dealing with right now, so this should be totally doable. Queen to c4 is not a check, so I really have to capitalize on these next couple of moves. So we'll put Martin in check with queen takes b8, king moves up to d7. Now, ideally what happens is eventually I somehow win the queen. The problem is I'm not sure how on earth we're going to force that into existence. Let's go queen to b7. I want to keep eyes on this bishop. We get queen to g4, which is unfortunately check. If I slide out of the way, there's no check that somehow hits my king and the queen because they're on different colored squares. Obviously, if king to e1, then I just get mated, so I do think I have to keep running. Okay, queen to c4 is check again. Maybe king to d2 kind of walks us back into the same spot, though. So maybe king to b1. Okay, this is a lot of checks, which is a little bit concerning. Let's go king back to c1. Queen to c3. It's kind of looking like he wants a draw. Bishop to b3 is check. I'm kind of quartering my own king as well, which is really not ideal. Oh, but that's a free bishop. Okay. With that, we are in fact back on track. Now, the only thing I have to do is not accidentally trade off the queen, but as far as the mating threats go, there are no mating threats, so we should be totally fine now. Okay, here come the next mating threats. The pawn is looking to promote, and the problem is I can't really put this king in check any which way. I mean, I can go queen back to f3, I suppose. Oh! That'll do it for certain. Queen to b3. I was looking to target f7s with the knight ever moves, then I'm back in business with the enemy king, but that is just a completely free queen. Pawn comes up to d5. I'll make a slight effort to try and stop this pawn because I really don't want him advancing and somehow getting another queen back onto the board. We do get put in check. Maybe I just keep my king a little bit further back. That is check again. Rook to a2. Since when does Martin see skewering ideas like this? If I walk the king forward again, it's just check and I lose the queen, but I do have king to b3. That is a protected check. We'll slide over, and there's a free rook. That's the thing about Martin. He can string together a decent couple of moves and make it look like something's about to happen, like he's cooking up some funny business, and then out of nowhere, the funny business literally just gets captured. We get king to d6. Let's play check with the queen, and I think now I can be the aggressor in just capturing a whole bunch of free stuff. We'll slide down, target the pawn. That's free. Come down and grab the knight. Thank you very much. Grab the pawn. Ooh, I thought he was going to try and promote this for a second. Nothing else is free, but I can play queen to g6. That's free. That's check and free. We'll give this check, grab on e6, and then this is just a matter of simplification. So we'll walk that enemy king down using the knight method distance by just keeping the queen a knight's distance from the king. As long as we don't finish that final move, which would stalemate Martin, we can now basically pre-move every single other move. And with that, we do in fact fact defeat 250 elo Martin with just one queen. Now, I think this is where the challenge really starts ramping up. Let's move on to bot number 5. Okay, bot number 5 is Juan rated 400, which as far as chess.com goes is a pretty substantial jump up from Martin, because he's way less likely to make the same silly sort of mistakes. So for this guy, I think I'm gonna have to be super duper aggressive. Oh, what? Never mind, we get pawn to b6. Actually, now that I think about it, this has happened to me in the past. I mean, sometimes it does feel like some of the bots jump a little bit higher than others. That is, the rating gain somehow feels less reflective of how much strength they did or did not gain, but I guess some of these higher bots do sometimes give away free queens now that I think about it, so I guess a free rook isn't that far out of the ordinary, but that is totally free. So is the knight, so is this pawn. I just don't know if he's going to have like much better follow through with his attacking ideas or something like that. Let's give this little pesky check. Let's just annoy the bot literally just because we can. Move back to c2. I want to have as many eyes on all sorts of different weaknesses as possible. Queen comes down to g4. That's not check, and I can take on c7. Queen to e6 is also check. My biggest fear is that I move the king somewhere where, say, the king somehow could land on b2. Queen to e5 would force the queen trade, because obviously I can't move the king away. Otherwise I just lose the queen. So that's my biggest fear at the moment, but I think all of that is pretty avoidable. Queen comes up to g4. Let's go king to d2. Bishop comes out to f5, isn't check, so it's back to my turn. I think I'm just gonna take on b6. Grab some free stuff. Queen to f4 is in fact check. I'm a little bit nervous about the fact that we're getting cornered here. A lot of squares are getting lost at the moment. King forward out into the abyss or moving back are my only two choices. If I advance, something like queen c4, I mean, it's gonna be scary either way. I guess this way there are less chances that the queen gets traded off, but more chances that I get checkmated. Whereas this way there are more chances that the queen somehow accidentally gets traded off, but I think less chances that I get checkmated. And if I had to guess what the bot's actually operating on, I'm going to assume it's checkmating calculations. Because right, all of these bots are based on Stockfish, so Stockfish is choosing a certain level move with some other parameters like can't see checkmate in 3 or what have you. So I think I'm probably more in danger if I walk into a checkmating threat. So let's go king to c3. Oh, there's queen to c4 immediately on the board. If I go back to b2, there's check. I mean, the bishop can't coordinate with the checkmate, which was the original idea, but it's still kind of sketch. We'll go king to b2. Obviously, if king to a1, there's mate. Oh, wait, if king to b1, I can actually take. But the problem is then the queens get traded off, so king to a3 is kind of forced. Okay, that is a fabulous move. Pawn comes out to e5. Not a check. Oh, it is a checking move. Holy moly, and even worse, it's basically losing because I can only defend with my queen. Oh my days. How does a 400 elo bot set up this mate? How do you see this? I literally lost to Martin one time against something literally just like this, except it was mate in 1. And if he moved the pawn forward, it was going to be discovered mate in 1. And Martin found it because of course Martin never misses mate in 1. Holy moly. Okay, that's game over. King to b4. With that, yeah, of course he's going to take. We'll take back. We'll give them the honors of finishing off. No way it's going to ladders mate me on my own channel. Okay, with that, we do in fact lose to the 400 elo rated Juan. With that, the challenge does technically end, but I think it's still possible, so I'm gonna try this one more time. Okay, let's give this one more go. I know for a fact that queen d5, oh, I was gonna say gives me free stuff, but no such luck today it seems. Maybe queen to e5 is even better, because if we get g5, then maybe I can just win this rook outright. Okay, never mind, we get b5 back on the board. We have an awfully indecisive queen today. I could just grab this rook, but I kind of wanna try for the king side, because I feel like if I weaken up this side of the board, I have way more attacking opportunities. You know what? Let's grab this rook first, grab this knight, grab this pawn with check, and we're basically where we started the last game. But now I'm going to slide back to b2, grab this other rook. Okay, this is already spectacular. We'll grab this pawn, and we should probably not allow any checks because that's how checkmate happened last time. The problem is I can't do anything about queen to e5, but I can at least try. Oh, you're actually joking. I was so busy stopping checkmate that this time I fell the other way. That forces a queen trade. If I move my king, there's no chance it doesn't take. So I'm going to take and hope it doesn't take back. And there goes my queen. Okay, with that, we lose the second time. Let's try that one last time. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's go queen to d4 this time. Maybe we can incite pawn to g5. Knight comes out to play. We'll shuffle the king over. That is not pawn to g5. We're met with pawn to f6 instead. That diagonal is toast. Okay, what is this new opening that it has invented on the fly? I'm gonna wait around with my, king, speaking of kings, we seem to have inspired the bot to meet fire with fire. King comes out to f7, still no weaknesses on the board though. How does it see this? That's my question, right? Because I'd be willing to bet that if I just leave it on the board, bishop to f5 would come out swinging. In any case, let's move the king out of the way so that doesn't happen. Queen comes out to d7. I've managed to win 0 points of material thus far. That check was kind of nice because it blocks in the queen one way, but it can still come out the other way. So I do still have to be careful. Let's go queen back to b3. I'm kind of hoping I'll grab something free soon. There we go, right on cue. Pawn comes out to a5. Still no weaknesses though. There was just that one knight that we happened to grab. So I guess we'll hang around a little bit. Ooh, king to d1, queen a4. So I guess we just wait around. Queen to b5. Wow, this is possibly my worst attempt so far. Pawn comes up to c6. Because the thing is, look at any individual piece, none of them are free. At least none of the attackable ones are free. I mean, these rooks I suppose are free, but they can't be targeted. So maybe we come and bother the king somehow. Check. Yeah, simply pawn to g6. I mean, credit where credit is due. Now it has bishop to h6 threats with that same mating pattern that got us in the first game. If I ever move off the h file, rook shuffles over. So not only is my king super duper weak, but my queen is very restricted now to this h file. Let's go king d2. Pawn comes up to d5. Let's target that rook on b8. I have a really bad feeling about this. Pawn comes up to e5. Suddenly it is very material weary and doesn't seem to be losing any. Let's go queen here. I mean, my only hope is it moves the king and I somehow infiltrate and absolutely destroy it back here. But the problem is the queen alone will probably never be enough to checkmate because if it doesn't fall for mate in 1 and I don't have any supporting pieces that can force the checkmate into existence, then my queen can never get too close to the king anyways. Let's shuffle out of the way, and with that we lose the third attempt. Okay, the original premise of the video was to see how high of a rated bot I could defeat with just a queen, but the new premise of the video is defeat Juan with 1 queen. Because I do actually think it's possible. I just think I haven't gotten the right sequence of moves yet. Wow, is he just like improving with every game? This is way better than the first opening he played. Okay, that's, wow, doesn't even let the pawn go. That's check. We'll shuffle out of the way. I mean, this is starting to feel like me just kind of hope chessing and throwing pieces around until free stuff appears in my purview. Everything is defended. Is that not absolutely crazy? There's the attack. Holy cow. Just chopping into me like an old oak tree. Knight to c5. No doubt there's mate here soon. Pawn to a5. I'm going to flip my chair. Pawn to a5. I wouldn't have even seen pawn to a5 checkmate. And the whole channel name is I want checkmate. That's crazy. Okay, that's attempt number 4. I have to give it one more honest effort. Okay, this is by far the best attempt. You obviously saw that 5th final quote-unquote effort, which was not my final effort. I really want to defeat Juan with 1 queen, but this seems to be on the right track so far. I think I just have to keep taking a whole bunch of free stuff, and eventually by some species of demoralization, we will defeat the Juan bot. I can't step onto either of these 2 squares because of queen to b4, which would threaten a queen trade, so perhaps queen c2, or rather king c2. Okay, I like this because it blocks off the bishop. So let's maybe become bishop hunting. Nice, we grab that for free. The knight slides back. Eventually I'm gonna need this queen though, which I think is gonna be the most difficult part. Let's grab the c5 pawn. Oh! Queen to d2! That's it! That's it. It's impossible now. There's no way that the Juan bot defeats me now. We take the knight, we put it in check, and this is literally just simplification. We actually did it. We're actually going to defeat the 400 elo Juan bot with a single, okay, wow, that was close. Let's all pretend like we didn't almost see me play that. Okay, now we take with check, and with a little bit of precise and careful play, we just play check, walk the king down, king to b8 is forced, and with that we do in fact defeat the Juan bot with only 1 queen. Now technically speaking, that's enough for the video. We lost against the 400 elo bot, which was the original premise, see at what point we lose. Then we defeated the bot, so we had a total switch up in plot there, but now I feel like I have incentive to go up just 1 more level. Let's move on to bot number 6. Okay, this is a much less likely victory, and I will just give it 1 honest attempt, but you guys already know that half the time I'm lying through my teeth, half the time I'm not. You're gonna have to check the timestamp on the video to see whether or not I'm lying this time. But the Noel bot is rated 550. This should be a substantial increment from the last bot that we just played, but I'm hoping that if I just try the same strategy, which is basically centralize the queen until free stuff appears, Wow, that was really well timed. Free stuff. Then hopefully it will pay off, and it seems it has already paid off. So let's go king to d1. I also feel like keeping the king and the queen on different colored squares is generally a good strategy because it makes it less likely. Wow, is it just giving me free stuff everywhere? I was going to say less likely that we somehow, wow, I almost took that too, that we somehow trade off the queen and the king. Sorry that my thoughts are a little bit all over the place. I'm off the rush of defeating the Juan bot with one queen, which I was kind of losing hope on. Let's give this other check. We'll slide back to g8, allows queen d5, trades off the queens. So maybe queen to h8 is more precise. This is also an interesting idea, sort of keeping the queen hidden behind enemy lines. Again, makes it less likely that even if there is a square of intersection between the queen and the king, it's less likely that placing it there will actually lead to a queen trade because my own queen is blocked in. We'll shuffle over. I also think these bots, that's a free bishop, do not like draws. So even if it threatens a repeat of moves, I don't think I'm gonna be afraid of it though. Okay, wait, maybe I should be afraid of it because maybe it thinks, maybe if there's like a certain evaluation, then it's willing to draw. Like if it's winning by enough, it might draw. Oh goodness. Okay, shuffle over. I really don't want to draw here, but okay, there comes the knight to a6. That didn't really fix all that much for us, but let's take on f6. Pawn to b5, let's give check. Take on h5, a lot of pieces on the king, and with that, we do in fact get mated. The problem is, there was really no way to get out of that. Okay, before I drive myself crazy in another loop of games trying to defeat this bot with only one queen, we will end the video there. If you guys do want to see a part 2 where I try this again against these higher rated bots and grind them down until I learn every nitty-gritty detail about them and see every single one of their dialogue options 500 times, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not against trying that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other video ideas that I should try against these bots, also leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.